Here you see we're fighting the Cho'Gath for a second. I break from the Cho'Gath. The Trundle takes him out. I start hitting the tower. He kills the what's it called? I start my ult, but I don't think I get it in time. I spin around. I toss. I think I get away though. I can't remember exactly. If I don't, it's fairly close. Let's see. Yeah, the Cho'Gath's really not pushing on anything. I throw my Q back. I'm still spinning my W. I'm having serious issues because of the silence. And then I just die, yep. Unfortunately, I did not have my exhaust or my ult going. Or could use my ult again because I had another 12 seconds left. So it was kind of bad there, but, you know, I don't know. It seems... Thus far, we're still ahead on kills. Let's see if we have more towers. 1, 2. So they have 2, 3, 4. We have 2, 3, 4. So we're tied in terms of towers. We have a nice, steady, a nice opening up mid. And one of the key things is, if you can really pick position of the towers that you want to have as your straight line, you definitely want mid as your straight line because... as your line of towers that you want to take out. Because honestly, top and bottom... They're really good for they're really good for fast ninjas, but you can't very quickly ninja mid because there's 2 routes to get there, and it's fairly easy to get there with certain characters. They can get there really fast, without teleports. But if you're ninjaing a side lane, particularly if you can force a distraction, on the other outer lane, you can really get quick ninjas in. And so here's the part where, it's kind of funny that the rest of our team didn't realize that Cat was gone, except, me and the Fiddles. And so here's a bad play. We're sort of getting jostled here, just so much damage output by the other team, and they're making decent progress. But we're putting some damage on them. We've got some good plays going. We're starting to push forward a bit. I'm just trying to hit whatever I can at this stage. I'm trying to run around. Do some spins. I pop my ult, realizing that I'm going to probably die here. Yeah. I think the Trundle just barely gets away. Yeah, he just gets away, which is pretty handy. Good play there. We're still up on kills. I'm unfortunately down. My KDR is pretty bad at this point. But that sort of happens when you play a tank. You tend to do pretty bad in the KDR department. But overall, let's see. But overall, I figure the game's kind of going south with this sort of play. But I think we still have a chance because it is a 4v5, and right here and here you can see 2 pretty significant minion pushes. So Top's minion push is immediately going to get taken out by the Tryndamere because he's pretty good at killing minions at this stage, and I'm pretty sure he's got his build pretty much done. Yeah, he's probably looking at a second Infinity Edge, if not a Cleaver. And if I were him, would take Cleaver. I don't remember if he does, because Cleaver will net him a bit more attack speed as well as the armor penetration, which on me, or armor reduction, which on me would be very, very handy to just kill me immediately. But I can't remember what his thinking is. I'm pretty sure he might have also... I think he might go double Infinity Edge, which is a good play, but probably not as necessary because the armor reduction works with his teammates as well, all of his physical damage teammates. So here's sort of a bad play. I don't really know why I got in it, but I think we get one. I'm trying to help him get away. It's fairly obvious that we might be able to get one more, except there is the Tryndamere. I tossed the Cat's there. I realize what's going on. The Cat put some stuff down. I think I tossed an exhaust. Yeah, I tossed an exhaust there. I'm actually popped my ult, so I'm healing back very, very fast. So the Cat comes back now. I'm kind of pissed because I could not figure out what the deal is. And then, of course, Tryndamere all pissed about the kiting. One of the things that about Tryndamere that you have to realize if you're ever playing a Tryndamere that's relatively fed like that, you have to kite him a lot, unless you have someone that can really CC him out. I had a slow, which will make a difference a little bit, but it's nothing really serious. Here's where things get really messy. We just kind of put him down with all of our damage. I think I popped my ult at a certain point in here. I think I popped my ult. No, he eats me. Yeah, unfortunately, I probably should have popped my ult there instead of walking towards him and just killed him, and then instead of letting him kill me, basically. But that's how it is sometimes. Here you can see the Trundle blocking off, but unfortunately the Jax has a stun prepped. Yeah, you can see his... oh, actually, he canceled it out. There it is. But yeah, so here's the cat, and then this is me getting really, really mad, where I'm just like, why would you... So the cat left to apparently go eat dinner. Not the worst thing to do. Oh, this is kind of a cool view. Not the worst thing to do in a ranked game, but it's like, I don't think it's a good idea to play a ranked game when you plan to go eat something, because it puts you in a it'll end up being a pretty bad experience for us, as her team, to try and get anything going, because we're short one person. So they've got Baron. This is an interesting turning point. A lot of teams would probably want to surrender with them having Baron and the fact that we're kind of tower low on a couple of spots. But the thing is, we're up on kills. Actually, I hadn't even looked at the kill score during this game at all, because as a tank, I don't really care too much. But we're 50 to their 34, which is kind of a big deal. So here's an interesting point. The Tryndamere going for our what's it called? Pretty much immediately killing him, but it doesn't really matter here because we're doing so much AoE damage. Just kind of pegging him in a spot. Oh, this is where I get completely caught, but because I popped my ult in time, I can get away. And yeah, the Cho'Gath missing his Q at another vital time. I tossed my Q at the Jax to slow him down. Nice, perfect throw. I actually was aiming for the Shaco, but I think I caught the Jax instead, which was kind of funny. My roommate remarked that was pretty awesome. Perfect time slow. Oh yeah, this is where Trundle does something really stupid. I don't really know what's going on here. I think the Cho'Gath figured he could tank it, but there's enough of us here that we can't let we're not letting any significant damage through. And this is where our minions just start pushing the shit out of their towers. One of the key things to note in this game is the fact that the enemy team does not really try to defend their towers very much. They just were playing super aggressive, super pushy, and their team setup basically called for that. But they honestly could have got more farming done and really helped themselves to our towers pretty easily. So I come in here, kind of toss a Q. I'm doing pretty reasonable damage to the Jax because obviously my Q is it's a percentage of the health. At this stage, I do 25% of the target's current health, 280 damage at the minimum. You can see the Fiddles is just gearing. Doesn't really matter. We're putting a ton of damage in this spot. I stand on the Cho'Gath because I figure it doesn't really matter. Corki netted 3 kills there. Very nice. Though honestly, it kind of sucked because the Fiddles or the Fiddles could have used the kills a little bit better because he's doing a lot better. Let's see this game. What are we looking at? 14, 8, and 20. You know, I guess to an extent, the Corgi had a bit more kills, but a lot more deaths, and he gave up a lot more deaths in the early game to really hurt his carry potential. And so here, you know, Fiddles is like, we really need to push, and I'm constantly trying to get something going, but it's very hard to do much of anything in this game.
The enemy's
Inhibitor is about to respawn soon, so I sort of start looking at trying to push mid a bit. The nice thing is the opposing team wasn't very gank heavy. You know, I saw the Shaco, so I knew where he was. You know, we had super minions here. I figured that they'd have to converge on them to try and take them out. You know, they're doing reasonable damage to the super minions, but it bought us a little bit of time to kind of start wiping a few waves. So Trundle and I take advantage. I come in and I just start spinning damage at them. Yeah, apparently I guess Mundo gains AP as the game goes on. I don't really understand how I'm getting any AP out of this, but it's kind of weird. So we move away from top because it's pretty obvious they're going to defend it. I'm looking at mid because we've got a Shaco here. You know, I figure worst case scenario. So this is sort of a bad play here. I don't really understand what the Trundle is trying to do exactly. But good news is everybody managed to get there in time. That's where things just kind of happen. We look to take the inhib. I burned through him. Yeah, the Jacks honestly kind of let us get a lot of things going. And this, I'm pretty sure, is where the game ends. I realize I just got to start throwing damage at this turret, so I'm using my E, just constantly popping it when it comes off cooldown. And this is just game right here. And that was GG. So yeah, pretty epic game for the most part.